Hey, Lee, should I offer wash, dry, fold?
That's a great question, Luke. We are the Williford Brothers, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about right now.
Welcome to another episode of the Williford Brothers. We are your hosts, Luke and Lee Williford. I stole his namesake there. Sorry, I'm moving a little fast.
You're good.
What are we going to talk about today, Lee?
We're going to talk about, should you offer wash, dry, fold in your laundromat?
Should we?
No, we don't, and we're not going to. But should we? Yeah, that's kind of a theological or a theoretical question.
But to our viewer, say they own a laundromat or they're looking to get into the business and they've seen a lot about wash, dry, fold, pick up and delivery. Should they? I'm not going to say it's a dead no.
Yeah.
We've decided not to because we've really scaled our self-service model and we found the ROI on our time and energy and efforts is.
I think that's the question. Why haven't we? Why haven't we decided to incorporate that into our business model?
Well, we've tried it in small scales and didn't have success, and it really stole from what we're really good at. I think we always want to work on our strengths. And
we did. We tried it. There was a trial period of, it was about 6 months to a year, and we determined that we really like the self-service model. Self-service allows you the opportunity to let your customers do all the work. They are paying a price per pound to do their own laundry in your facility that you are paying for regardless. And there are some barriers, I think, that we didn't want to have to deal with in incorporating wash, dry, fold. It involves more labor, which makes things a little bit more time-consuming in regards to managing people, managing processes, managing profitability, and the liability of taking on someone's dearly loved garments and being responsible for laundering them, and if something happens to them, having to replace those things.
Oh, this shirt right here is worth $1 million.
I bet, yeah.
If you mess it up, I'm coming after $1 million. And if you've offered
have a good life insurance policy,
wash, dry, fold, a lot of times some garments might get damaged. They may have gotten damaged before you actually took a hold of them, but if the customer thinks that you did it, you're ultimately responsible, and you'll get a lot of requests for refunds on and replacement of garments. And
it's a trade-off that we have decided to make, to not offer wash, dry, fold. But there are people who do an excellent job at wash, dry, fold services, full service. So that people come in, drop their clothes off, and they come back and pick up clean belongings. That could be laundered. It could also be dry cleaned. People are in both industries. For us, we're talking specifically about laundering clothes, both for personal use and for small businesses or even large businesses. I mean, we know people who have contracts with Amazon who bring in a lot of their employees' required uniforms, and so they drop them off and they turn them over and get them back to Amazon, who I'm sure pays well, but probably not a big margin.
Yeah. Well, I think for us, we've sent a lot of them to dry cleaners. Dry cleaners have really, during COVID, dry cleaners kind of got hit pretty hard, so they focused a lot on wash, dry, fold. And wash, dry, fold at a dry cleaners, and even a lot of what dry cleaners do nowadays is really wet wash and dry in the back. They do dry clean some garments, but a lot of garments these days are able to be wet washed. So they always have a big washers and dryers, just like we have in our laundry facility. But instead of you putting it in, they actually put it in for you, and it costs quite a bit more because they've got the labor of actually handling it and taking the liability.
Our industry has definitely been a big beneficiary of both fast fashion and pretty inexpensive fashion. Clothes nowadays, like you said, you can wash just about anything. This shirt that I'm wearing is about $35 from Lands' End. I have about 10 of them, and I have never dry cleaned a single one of them. That's primarily because I'm cheap, but it's also because, this garment is anti-wrinkle. I wash it about every time I wear it, and man, it holds up really well.
Yeah, I think that's played a lot over the years. I mean,
it increases wash volume, everything.
People who had to wear coat and tie every day, just attire's gone more casual. And I mean, people are even working from home now who used to have to wear a tie and a shirt, and they're making garments that are stretchy and non-wrinkle. But that's the dry clean industry. But I think, looking back, a lot of people get into the laundromat business because it is low labor, not a whole lot of employees, and then it is no accounts receivable. Mm-hmm. And let's see, one of the things that we like about taking no liability of clothing, one of the things that we like is our staff, almost 100% of our staff is full-time. Mm-hmm. Okay. With Wash Dry Fold, you have to hire a lot of people part-time, and there's margins that you have to keep, and you can't provide them with the amount of hours they need because you don't know how much laundry is going to come in. So the schedule's real off, which lends itself to much turnover. Yes. And dealing with people, there's a lot of just emotions, and we like to get team members and bring them on and employ them full time, and they're dependent upon us and we're dependent upon them, and it works really well. Their schedule stays the same, and we train them on exactly what to do. And that's just one of the things that makes me sleep better at night, knowing I don't have part-time staff who are in and out, and the turnovers.
You and somebody else.
Yeah, they're working several jobs, which just for me, I like how we have our staff. We have
dedicated staff members who are part of the family, and like you said, that definitely reduces our turnover rate.
And we've offered Wash Dry Fold for like hurricanes or in high demand when like a few years ago, different ones. We've done free laundry days. We've brought staff together to do Wash Dry Fold throughout the night for linemen, electricians when they come into town. I remember.
Yeah, for hurricane relief.
Yeah, down in Fayetteville, we used Chick-fil-A's employees because Chick-fil-A's employees were actually, the Chick-fil-A was closed there for weeks. And I talked to the owner. He said, any work you can give my staff, I just want to, because he cared about them, you know. And so there's times like that when you make exceptions, but day to day we don't do Wash Dry Fold, and that's a decision we've made through quite a bit of experience. But if you've got one laundromat and you really want to tap the gross revenue and profitability out of that one store, it may be a good option for you.
That's right. It may be a good trade-off to go ahead into it.
In this conversation, we have to talk about the new technologies out there. I can think of a few companies, Happy Nest and others, Sense, and a lot of these different companies that are coming to the forefront. And they're mainly for Wash Dry Fold, acquiring customers, taking the problems of Wash Dry Fold and pick up and delivery off the laundromat owner.
Incorporating
customer
technologies.
Service, relationship management, acquiring, marketing to get new customers, route logistics. It is a logistics business. I see a lot of my friends on the laundromat forum, they have accidents with the pickup and delivery quite often. Ross Dodds out in California. Everybody knows Ross. And
love a bumper picture.
Bumper picture out there. Charles Measley down in Jersey. Good friend of ours, runs a great Wash Dry Fold and pickup operation. Definitely. And I think the most successful Wash Dry Fold, just from our vantage point, are people who really spend time in them and they're a part of the operations. I know Wash Dry Fold and pickup and delivery have been attempted to be scaled across the country several times, and it's just so hard because you've got to have, it's a lot of management of people, it's a lot of logistics, it's a ton of moving parts, and for that to run efficiently and serve the customer well, you've got to have local management, and a lot of times that's the owner operator who's who scales that.
I think a lot of the new entries into that space are utilizing that. They have come to understand that they can't scale themselves, so they are trying to use local people to leverage the technology that they have built and build a business model around the technology within our industry.
I'll say
We'll see
this.
where that goes.
Yeah, I'll say this on a lot of episodes, but we can't remove the human element. I think in this day and age with technology softwares, we want to take out the human element. But at the end of the day, every dollar that ends up in a business's pocket comes from a human. And we cannot take the human element out of it. Humans, they're not going to make a machine that does wash, dry, fold, and
It's been attempted.
They do.
There are some
I
patents
think
out
there's a machine out there, but really we can't take the human element out of business.
Yeah.
And
I think it's also important to recognize the difference between a wash, dry, fold customer and a self-service laundromat customer. There is not a lot of overlap, and that's one thing we learned within our trial period of wash, dry, fold services is you're not taking a lot of people who are using your existing laundromat, know your brand, and turning them into pickup and delivery, wash, dry, fold customers. So if you offer that service, you are going to have to know and understand a completely different market, a different segment, because your primary customer is going to look a lot different. And so now you have to run two different businesses with different business models who are serving different primary customers, because the decisions that you make, you want to make sure that you are making them to benefit your primary customer. And so you have to be conscious that you are serving two different types of people who want to bring in and have to bring in their laundry into your laundromat, and then the other people who can pay a premium to have their laundry either picked up and dropped off or bring it in themselves and pay your price per pound to have it done for them. But just remember, those are two different market segments.
good stuff. I think you'll hear Lee say a lot about we have to know who our primary customer is, because we can't serve a multitude of people. We have to know who we're out to serve. And yeah, so you have to think about that. A wash, dry, fold customer is different from a self-service laundry customer. They're typically not one and the same. I think with time is one of the big things that people go to wash, dry, fold services for. Mm-hmm. And one thing that you want to, or I want to point out, is that wash, dry, fold a lot of times takes up not only your staff, but it takes up your machines. Space, and it puts turns on your machines, and you want those turns to be as profitable as possible. Mm-hmm. I've talked to people around the country who are doing 15 turns a day, but a lot of that's wash, dry, fold, and that also wears on the life of the machine, because the age of the machine really doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's all about
miles.
It's all about the miles on the machine, the amount of turns it's getting. So that's what I think about when I think about wash, dry, fold. Just you know, it really wears on the owner from a management standpoint, the owner-operator, and it wears on the equipment, and it also gets in the way of your self-service customer.
Yes, that's the big thing for me.
Who may or may not be your primary customer. If your wash, dry, fold customer is your primary customer, you've got to kind of adapt your business model and let the self-service, they're going to know, but you've got to adapt your business model. I know a lot of people process the wash, dry, fold during the day, and then they process pickup and delivery at night to avoid getting in the way of self-service customers. But can we take 1 second for those listening who may not know the difference between wash, dry, fold, and pickup and delivery? Pickup and delivery is actually when you send a van out to the customer's home. You pick up their laundry, you bring it back to your facility, you launder it, you take it back out in a vehicle and back to their home. You can imagine that sounded very simple when I said it, but when you start to scale that, and you've got drivers and logistics and stoplights and you're becoming FedEx,
a
UPS,
logistics company,
Uber Laundry.
Yeah,
there's probably one going to come out eventually. Called Uber Laundry.
Yeah. But would that be people washing their clothes in somebody else's washer?
Possibly.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll let you do that venture. We don't have to partner on that. But there's a lot of logistics involved. And then wash, dry, fold is somebody coming in, dropping off their stuff with a staff member and leaving. Both assume liability of the belongings. and both have to be done in the laundromat by a staff member.
Yeah. So when those operations overlap, it can get messy, and
Yep.
you're going to have to deal with that. So hopefully you've learned to be tactful and diplomatic in dealing with your wash, dry, fold customers who don't see things happen. So it's really your staff members and your self-service customers who might go to blows. Hopefully
Absolutely. And your when that happens and your service, your end result, the laundry isn't processed properly or consistently, then you're going to have some Karen customers out there that will give you a hard
Want to
time.
see the manager.
And want to see the manager, the owner, and want to talk to you. But those are a few reasons why we have chosen not to do wash, dry, fold. I think we want to give reality in this. So if you choose to do wash, dry, fold, there's a lot of guys out there who do it successfully. We'd be happy to link you with those. Maybe we can put it in the show notes.
Especially if you're in an urban area. We're not in heavily urban areas. We're in large towns, small cities. So population isn't as dense. But if you're in those dense areas, it could be. That's mostly where those successful operators are located.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons because of route density for pickup and delivery, or people walking their clothes actually to your laundromat. I know in New York City there's a lot of successful wash, dry, fold.
Yes.
And so
Population
that's a little
density.
bit on wash, dry, fold. We hope that helps you answer the question why we chose to
should
not
I offer
offer
wash, dry, fold?
or why you should offer it or not. It's up to your decision, but we hope this helped inform you a little bit. Yeah, we thank you for listening. That's the conclusion of this episode, but you can keep on clicking. We've got quite a few episodes out there, and thank you for joining us. Make sure you subscribe. Check out our website, The Wash House. There I go, The Wash House, the Williford Brothers. I'm so used to
Close
doing
enough.
advertisements for
You
our
can go there too.
laundromat
Vet us,
company.
thewashhouseinc.com.
It's ingrained in me to say The Wash House, but thewillifordbrothers.com. Instagram, Facebook, all those good things. We thank you for your support. God bless you guys. We're out. Yee.